Okay. What's up, guys? I realized we hadn't talked about these window stickers that leaked last week. So I just wanted to this is going to be a very laid back video. Why am I recording this live? Couldn't tell you. Hopefully the stream's coming through okay. Hopefully you can hear me all right. So this is going to be a little different video than what I usually do. You know, a little less edited, a little more natural. So just going to peek through some of the exciting things we can learn from these window stickers. But we're going to focus specifically on the Pro trim level sticker. But at the end, I do want to transition to the Fleet sticker. It's a window sticker for one of the Fleet models, and there's some interesting things on there. But we're going to start with, I think this, I haven't seen anything over the last week that has questioned the credibility of these window stickers. So I don't doubt the accuracy of all the information on here. But I think this is one of the best tools we've gotten thus far for identifying what exactly is going to be on our Pro trim. You know, we see so much content with the Platinum and the Lariat and even the XLT. It's nice to finally start getting some material that's like just focused on the trim that we're interested in, which is the Pro trim. So let me see if I can zoom in. There's got to be a way. Here we go. Look at this. This is lovely. Okay. Oh boy. So obviously nobody is watching this live. I'm recording this at like 3 in the morning, so I'd be astounded if any live viewers tuned in. But if you do, thanks for being here. Maybe I can resize this. This is the joy of doing this live. You get to see the behind the scenes. Okay, there's that. So I'm just going to go top to bottom and just talk about all these features. But I think before I dive into all these, the gist, like the overall arc, is that I feel like they do a good job of giving us enough features to justify a $40,000 price point. I mean, just the fact that it's an electric pickup truck, obviously there's not many of those out there, so they could be charging whatever they want. But like, I compare it to other pickup trucks like the Jeep Gladiator, and they charge so much for those vehicles, and like they still sell Jeep Gladiators that have like manual roll-up windows for like $40,000. And so I think it's interesting. Now I know they say that the Gladiator starts at like 36, but once you put in an automatic transmission and all that, you're already at 40,000 and you're losing a lot of creature comforts. And so that's why I think that's one of the comparisons that got me like the Lightning, this Pro trim is such a great bargain for what you're getting. So starting with these daytime running lamps, we've seen those. But one thing that I haven't been able to wrap my mind around, maybe I haven't done enough YouTube research, but are those also going to be your turn signal indicators? Because when you look at the front of that truck, you've got your headlights, and then you've got the running light. And so I'm interested to see if those like turn orange and like are your blinkers. I don't know. We'll have to see. Fully box steel frame. Auto high beam and auto on-off headlamps. You know, the fact that they're giving you LED, see if you look down a couple more here, LED projector, bending headlamps. I feel like they really didn't need to give us LED headlights at this price point, but they did, which I think is really generous of them. Large front trunk. And I'm even going to go as far as to say when I first saw the Lightning and I saw the power frunk, my first thought was that's not going to be a standard feature on the base trim. Just like when you look at the Silverado EV and you see the 4-wheel steering and the flex midgate and all those cool features, we've been into cars long enough that you can look at what they're showing you and throw out the 5 coolest features because you know those aren't going to show up on the truck that you can afford. And yet, they easily could have made that frunk uh, like a manual lift or like a manual close, or I don't know. Then again, it would be so tall you'd have to have like a hand strap. But they could have done like hydraulic. I don't know. Again, just a feature that I think really contributes to this awesome price point. Like, they didn't need to give us a power frunk for $40,000, but they did. Locking removable tailgate with tailgate assist. So, if I remember correctly, this is just dampened on the way down, but you can't, for the Pro Trim, you're not going to get a power tailgate. But removable, I guess in case you're hauling something big or for whatever reason you need to remove the tailgate, you can. Pickup box with pickup box tie down hooks. Now that's interesting because when I went and saw the Lightning in Chicago, it was a Lariat trim, and I have footage of the truck bed, and I saw all these cool like hooks and things like, I think it's on the Build and Price site of like the rail system or whatever. And so I had a feeling we weren't going to get anything that elaborate, but because we see so little of that Pro Trim in like the advertising material that they're putting out there, it is nice to see you're going to get some way to secure what you're hauling. Power up and down front hood, we already talked about that. Rear privacy glass. I wish they would have given you a little like sliding window there, but not a deal breaker. Trailer sway control. Interior, 12-inch productivity screen. We've already shown you footage of that. They easily could have given us like an 8-inch or a 6-inch screen right there. They had no reason to give us a 12-inch digital screen other than, it streamlines the production process. They were like, we're already putting it on the other 3 trims, just slap it on the Pro as well. But so generous of them, because I think when you get into a Pro trim, not that I've ever sat in one, but based on like the Build and Price, when you get into a Pro trim, other than the steering wheel and the seat, which are going to feel, a little cheapish, I'm anticipating, with the vinyl seats and I'm assuming like plastic or hard rubber steering wheel, everything you're seeing and looking at is going to be pretty premium. The 12-inch digital gauge cluster, the 12-inch productivity infotainment screen. I was looking at a video the other day of a Raptor, internal combustion, obviously. But like the Raptor gets the same 12-inch screen that we're getting for $40,000. And I think the Raptor has a smaller digital screen right in front of you when you're driving. And then like obviously a couple analog gauges, but so cool. Like, I don't know, the more I see of this truck and the features we're getting for this price, I'm just blown away. One touch up down windows. Again, they could have easily given us manual windows. They could have easily given us power windows without the one touch feature. So cool of them. Oh, I said cool again. I know I say that word too much. One touch up and down windows in the front. I don't think you'll have it in the rear seats, but even still, very generous. The 60/40 fold-up rear bench. To me, this was not a given. This was another feature when I saw the Pro, or I think I saw it first on like an XLT or a Lariat, and I told myself, they don't have to give us those folding rear seats. They really don't. For the price, like that's a cool feature. I said cool again. It's an interesting feature that they didn't have to give us for this price point, but they did. Now, I know they skimped and they didn't give us the under rear seat, like collapsible storage bin. But I have already seen on like Amazon, for regular internal combustion F-150s, you can buy aftermarket. Now, it doesn't collapse, but they're just basically tubs that are molded to the interior of an F-150, and you just kind of slide it under there. I don't know if it secures, but so cool that they gave us the folding rear seat. At first, I was like, what am I going to use that for? But then I thought of like, I bought a new TV within the last year, and that box is huge and flat. And then seeing that flat, it's a perfectly flat floor in the back seat of the F-150 Lightning. And so I'm like, that's where I would try to squeeze that thing. if I didn't want to risk it getting rained on the way home from the electronics store, or even if you bought like a big TV on Craigslist, you don't have the box. Are you going to throw it in the back of your truck, or are you going to, I mean, that's a huge interior protected space. And they didn't have to give us those folding seats, but I'm so glad they did. Let's see. Dual zone climate control. Thrilled that they gave us that. The overall gist that I'm seeing, you know, I watched some Town and Country YouTube, and the gist I see from all the YouTube videos I watch about this Lightning is that the base truck, you're getting like XLT and Lariat level features on the internal combustion version. So that dual climate control is a great example. Auto dimming rear view mirror, great. Power door locks. I was, again, so sure that because it's a work truck, they were going to skimp and give us like a key that you have to turn in the door. That sounds so antiquated in 2022, but I'm thrilled that they gave us power locks. You know, again, they drew the line in the sand. They're not giving us the proximity unlock, but you can still unlock your car from your phone. Like, all such smart features. And then it says message center with the outside temp, a compass. So basic features that you would find on other less expensive cars. I'm assuming all of those will show up on the 12-inch productivity screen or digital gauge cluster. That's what I call it, but they're calling it a 12-inch productivity screen. Is there a way to like highlight? Oh, that would be so nice. No, there's not. You can tell I don't really know how to use this computer quite yet. Can I blow this up a little bit? Let's blow that up. That way you don't have to see my everything. Okay. So, next we've got it just says PowerPoint to 120 volts. So that makes me think that's the standard wall style outlet in the front seat. I think you get one in the front, one in the back, but don't quote me on that. And then the tilting and telescoping steering column. Now on here, I could swear they specified, like there was a little code that specified what the steering wheel was made out of. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that as we get further in. But I don't have high hopes. I think it's going to be plastic or hard rubber. I'd be thrilled with hard rubber at this point. Okay, so functional auto hold. Just to show how little I know about electric cars and cars in general, I thought that was a feature that only made sense on internal combustion vehicles, but I guess it could detect when you're at a red light and turn off the electric motors. I don't know. We'll have to see how that works out. Looks like we're getting into a lot of safety features now. Bliss, which I think is blind spot warning. Yeah, blind spot warning. Cross traffic alert. Great. A class 4 trailer hitch. Coil springs, Ford Pass Connect. We knew that. Lane keeping. That was a surprise when I was looking at this sticker. Did not expect to see that on here. Post-collision braking. Awesome. Pre-collision assistance. And this, they all were very in-depth in their February live stream. So we already kind of covered all that. If you missed that, go back to the channel and it says February live stream, and it was all about tech, but it was really a lot about safety. So check out that video. Reverse brake assist, reverse sensing, and rear view camera. So I knew we were going to get a rear view camera, but awesome to see that on the base level truck, the sub $40,000 truck, they're giving you parking sensors back there, which this is a great example of, like, for $40,000, a lot of buyers are going to be expecting that feature. I've never had that feature on a vehicle, so I'm pleasantly surprised to see that it's here. Selectable drive modes. This is one of my top 5 features on this truck, and again, they didn't have to give us these drive modes. It's a work truck. Work truck, they tow, they haul, and then you've got standard mode. But they gave us off-road, and they gave us sport in addition to that. So I'm thrilled to see those extra drive modes, and I'm challenging Ford, because I know you're watching. I want an eco mode that maybe, I'm not an engineer, But I think in eco mode that maybe just goes into 2-wheel drive. If you're like really worried about conserving battery for a day. I know Rivian has a drive mode similar. I think it puts it into front wheel drive. And what's cool is that they could implement this over time with software updates. Let's see. And then we've got our Sync 4 horizontal 12-inch screen. So thrilled about that. And that's really, when I look at other vehicles, internal combustion vehicles, and you're looking at the different trims, that is usually the main identifier. You get into one and you're like, okay, it's got I'm going to use the Jeep Gladiator again just as an example because I'm pretty familiar with those. You've got the 6-inch screen, you're in a base like Sport Gladiator. You get in and you see an 8-inch screen, you're in like the Primo Deluxe. They don't have a Sahara Gladiator, do they? Like the Willys or whatever. So the fact that they're giving us a 12-inch screen, the same 12-inch screen that comes in the top of the line Broncos, the same 12-inch screen that comes in the Raptor, like so generous of them, and I'm so thrilled that they did that. Let's see, safety. Advanced track with RSC. I'm going to admit that I'm a bad YouTuber. I have no idea what that is. Advanced track with RSC. Drop it in the comments below if you know what that stands for, because I don't. Airbags, great. A center-mounted stop lamp there. I believe that's the one right above your rear window. And then a post-crash alert system and a perimeter alarm. So that, an alarm, you would hope that that's on a $40,000 car. So scrolling down, we confirm here that this is indeed for the Pro Series. Doesn't have any of the, there's no upgradable group for the Pro, so that's why you don't see it there. 18-inch wheels. Let's see, all-terrain tires, electric axle. 8250. So I thought GVWR stood for gross vehicle weight ratio. So I don't know what that package is. And there you see that MSRP $39,974. This is an interesting time to be doing this video because as soon as April, May, June, especially when they start getting into the summertime and talking about 2023 trim levels, are we going to see all these same features, everything we just talked about up here? Or do you think they're going to bump up the price and make it an even more fully loaded vehicle? Or do you think they're going to take some features away and maybe like at that Pro level put in a smaller infotainment screen? I don't know. I'm kind of nervous. I feel like, again, the gist of this whole live stream has been what a great steal for $40,000. And so I hope they kind of just leave it. Even if they bump up the price by like $1,000 or so, still a great deal. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. We will see. Down here you can see the total with destination, 41,669. Confirming right over here that you have 230 miles of range, which is great. But it does seem like they've put a nail in the coffin of like you might get more if you have less than 1,000 pounds of payload. So just coming to terms with that. My heart is broken. But MPGE, I tried to do research on this, but so my understanding is you only would want to compare that number to other electric vehicles. So like if this gets MPGE of 68 and then the Rivian gets 100 MPGE, obviously that means the Rivian is more efficient and you're going to go further on one charge. That's my understanding. Please unsubscribe and just demolish me in the comments if I'm wrong about that, or educate me, please. Let's see, obviously 10 out of 10 on our greenhouse gas rating. I would hope so. Now, before I wrap this up, going into the other sticker that we've got, this is for a fleet sticker. And the reason I want to show you this is because I found some interesting things on here. I have to wonder if other Lightning forums or whoever, they see this and they're like, well, no consumer is going to get their hands on a fleet vehicle. But I found some interesting things. So you can see that this is an F-150 Lightning. It's got that vinyl interior. So that was my first clue. This is indeed a pro, like a pro trim. Down here in this other yellow circle, you can see that I also highlighted that it is, let me scoot that over a little bit. They are calling this a Pro Series. A lot of the same features in this standard equipment included at no extra charge, but what really jumped out to me is over here you can see that it is, oh, it's hiding. Oh no, I hope that wasn't the case for all that other stuff I said. 320 miles. So this is an extended range Pro, which is your final clue that it is indeed a fleet vehicle. Now, looking at this, let me scroll back over. It shows that they are charging $10,000 for the extended range battery, which lines up with what they've been advertising on like the XLT. You know, theoretically, they only charge you $10,000 for the extended range battery on the XLT, even though you also have to get that other equipment package that's more like $19,000. But this just goes to show Ford is willing to let an extended range battery out their front door for $10,000, and actually less. This was one of the most interesting things I noticed. The fleet vehicles, they're not getting the Ford Charge Station Pro. So they're saving $1,200, $1,300. And so really, they're letting the extended range battery out their front door for $8,700. And so then you look at that final price, $50,000 for a 320-mile electric pickup truck. This brings me immediately, my first thought was, that's a hot commodity. Like, there were so many people clamoring for there to be extended range battery on the affordable Ford Lightning. And so my thought was, can fleets buy 10 of these and then sell 2, depending on the no sale clause, or even after a year? Like, theoretically, does that not mean we could all just wait and buy these secondhand from fleets, and then you finally have that affordable extended range Ford Lightning? That blew my mind. So I don't know if the fleets have a certain contract with Ford stating that they won't resell, but just seeing, 320 miles for $50,000. Now that's probably even out of my price range, but still cool to see that they're going to be like Bigfoot or Sasquatch. They are going to be out in the wild, and maybe even hitting like a secondary market. Again, if I'm wrong about this, let me know in the comments. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a YouTuber. So very interesting there. But I think that's it. I have no idea if I'm even going to leave this video up because I'm recording it live. I'm not going to edit it. The moment I hit stop, it's going to publish to YouTube. So be sure to like it if you learned anything from these window stickers. I mean, I could track down the XLT, the Lariat, and the Platinum window sticker, but I think I've made it pretty clear. This YouTube channel, I'm here to service Ford Lightning Pro buyers, reservation holders. That's my goal, and that's who I'm trying to reach. So as much as I love looking at the higher trims, it just breaks my heart when I circle back and realize, I can afford the Pro trim level, and so this is what we get. So thank you for tuning in. I'm certain that nobody saw this live, but I hope maybe you're watching this or listening to it on your way to work tomorrow morning. If you learned something, and I'll catch you on the next one. Now, how do I stop a live stream? Seriously.